This wasn't just a city bus. In Speed, Annie's Runaway ride became one of the most stressful vehicles in movie history. But that chaos on screen came from an incredible mix of stunt planning, custom engineering, and filmmaking tricks. These are 20 weird facts about the bus you probably never noticed. Number 20. Multiple identical buses were built and modified for completely different filming roles. What looks like one continuous city bus throughout Speed was actually a fleet of nearly identical vehicles, each customized for a very specific purpose. The production did not rely on a single bus, because the script demanded too many different kinds of action. Some scenes required the bus to move normally through traffic. Others demanded high-speed maneuvers, rough impacts, interior camera access, or structural damage. One bus simply could not handle all of that, and still look consistent from shot to shot. So the filmmakers created several matching units and assigned each one a specialty. One bus served as the clean hero version used for close-ups and exterior beauty shots. Another was reinforced for stunt driving and the more punishing road sequences. Additional buses were altered for interior filming, with removable walls, modified seating layouts, and hidden spaces for cameras and crew. This means the bus the audience sees as one vehicle is actually a carefully coordinated illusion built from multiple machines. Keeping that illusion believable required intense attention to detail. Paint, route numbers, damage patterns, decals, and even dirt buildup had to match across all versions. If one bus had slightly different wear on a bumper or inconsistent trim around a window, the audience might notice the switch. The production team therefore treated continuity like a military operation. Every version had to appear as if it were the same vehicle surviving one non-stop nightmare. That strategy gave the film flexibility. A damaged stunt bus could be pulled out while another took over for cleaner shots. It also protected the schedule because one breakdown did not stop the entire production. For audiences, the result is invisible. The bus feels singular, persistent, and almost indestructible. Behind the scenes, though, it was an entire system of carefully prepared vehicles working together to create that illusion. Number 19. The bus's speedometer was deliberately exaggerated to keep the audience anxious. Inside Annie's Runaway bus, the speedometer becomes one of the film's most important visual tools. It is not just a dashboard instrument, it is a tension machine. Every time the camera cuts to that dial, the audience is reminded of the deadly rule that defines the entire plot. But here's the strange part. The speed shown on screen was not always a perfectly realistic reflection of what the bus was physically doing during filming. The production intentionally used the speedometer as a storytelling device, rather than a strict documentary measurement. If the bus had displayed totally accurate numbers in every shot, some scenes might have felt less urgent or more confusing. Instead, the dial was used to heighten anxiety, making viewers feel that danger was always seconds away. The film needed that needle to hover near catastrophe. It became a visual countdown without being a clock. A bus rolling at a moderate filming speed could still be presented as riding the edge of disaster through careful framing and a more dramatic instrument reading. This decision made emotional sense. Audiences do not calculate road physics while watching a thriller. They react to signals. The speedometer delivered one of the clearest signals in the film. It told viewers exactly how close the characters were to disaster, and it did so instantly without needing dialogue. The filmmakers understood that a number on a dial could be more powerful than any line of exposition. It also gave the audience a fixed rule they could track throughout the film, which made every drop in speed feel terrifying. The effect is so strong that many viewers remember the speedometer almost as vividly as the bus itself. It becomes part of the movie's identity. Even when the exact numbers may stretch realism, the dramatic value is enormous. It transforms a mechanical gauge into a source of psychological pressure, and that is why it works so well. Number 18. The bus interior was partially rebuilt on a soundstage so the camera could actually move.
Open your door! Open the door!
A real city bus is a terrible place to shoot a movie if you want cinematic flexibility. The aisle is narrow, the ceiling is low, and the seats leave very little room for lights, boom microphones, or camera operators. A speed needed the audience to feel trapped inside Annie's bus. but it also needed to capture performances, movement, and tension from multiple angles. And the solution was to build major parts of the interior on a soundstage. This set was designed to match the real bus, closely enough that the audience would never notice the switch. But unlike the real vehicle, the set could be manipulated. Walls could be removed, seats could be shifted, and camera access points could be opened wherever the shot demanded. This gave the filmmakers an enormous advantage. They could place the camera in positions that would be physically impossible inside a real bus. They could move around actors more freely. They could light faces properly without obvious movie lights appearing in frame. And they could record cleaner dialogue without the constant mechanical noise of a moving vehicle. The soundstage set also allowed for more controlled performance scenes, especially moments with multiple passengers panicking at once. Coordinating that level of action inside a real bus would have been far more chaotic and restrictive. The rebuilt interior made it possible to maintain the feeling of a cramped, dangerous environment while still shooting like a large-scale thriller. The art department had to be extremely precise. Every window line, handrail, seat texture, and dashboard element had to match the real bus interior. That way, when the film cuts from an exterior stunt shot to an interior panic scene, the audience accepts it as the same physical space. The result is seamless. Viewers experience one bus, one trapped group, one escalating crisis. Behind the scenes, though, the interior was a carefully engineered set, built to solve one of the biggest practical problems in the film. And number 17. The bus jump was sold with practical stunt work, but the geography was manipulated heavily.
Entire scene in high definition is ready on the computer. It needs to be transferred to film.
The famous bus jump in Speed is one of the most memorable stunt moments of the 1990s. But the way the scene works on screen is not the way it existed in physical reality. The filmmakers did use a real bus for key portions of the stunt, and that practical foundation is a huge part of why the sequence still feels so effective. However, the geography of the jump was manipulated heavily through camera angles, editing, and careful staging. In the finished film, the bus appears to leap across a dramatic gap in an unfinished highway section. The moment feels outrageous and impossible, which is exactly the point. But in reality, the stunt could not be performed exactly as presented. The production constructed a version of the roadway that would allow the bus to launch in a controlled way, and then use selective framing to make the missing section look longer and more dangerous than it really was. The approach, takeoff, airborne moment, and landing were all designed to be combined into one seamless event. Editing did the rest. The result is a scene that feels physically real because so much of it actually happened with a real bus under real stress, even though the exact spatial relationships were cinematic fiction. This is why the stunt has held up so well. It is not pure digital invention, but neither is it raw documentary reality. It sits in that perfect middle ground where practical action is amplified by filmmaking craft. The audience feels the weight of the bus because the bus is real. And the danger feels heightened because the cut pattern and camera placement exaggerate it beautifully. That blend of authentic momentum and manipulated geography is what turns the sequence from a stunt into a legend. Number 16. The bus suspension was reinforced because ordinary transit hardware was never meant for this kind of abuse. A normal city bus is designed for repeated stops, passenger comfort, and predictable urban routes. It is not designed to tear through high-speed action scenes, hit rough pavement at dangerous speeds, or survive the repeated punishment demanded by a major thriller production. That is why the bus used in Speed needed suspension reinforcement. The stock setup simply would not have been enough for what the filmmakers wanted to do. High-speed turns, sudden directional changes, uneven road surfaces, and repeated takes all put enormous strain on the suspension system. Without modification, the bus could have become unstable, suffered mechanical failure, or performed inconsistently from take to take. Reinforcing the suspension helped solve all three problems. It improved stability, protected the vehicle from repeated stress, and made its behavior more predictable for stunt drivers. That predictability was essential. The crew needed the bus to move the same way every time, so camera positions, actor timing, and surrounding traffic choreography could stay in sync. At the same time, the suspension could not be so stiff that the bus looked fake. Part of what makes the Runaway bus so believable is that it still moves like a heavy transit vehicle. It leans, bounces, on and reacts to the road in ways that remind the viewer that this is a huge machine being pushed far beyond its normal limits. The reinforcement, therefore, had to preserve the character of a bus while increasing its durability. That balance is one of the hidden engineering achievements of the film. The audience sees chaos. The crew needed controlled chaos, and the suspension work helped make that possible. Number 15. The bus's route signage was intentionally kept readable to maintain geographic clarity. One subtle but highly intentional detail in Speed is the clarity of the bus's route signage. The digital and printed route indicators on Annie's bus were designed to remain visible and legible throughout the film, even during chaotic movement. This might seem like a minor detail, but it plays a key role in grounding the story. The audience needs to believe that this is a real city bus operating within a recognizable transit system, not just a generic vehicle thrown into action. By keeping the route signage consistent and readable, the filmmakers reinforced that realism. From a technical standpoint, this required careful coordination between lighting, camera exposure, and the design of the signage itself. Bright daylight can easily wash out digital displays, while darker conditions can make them difficult to read. The production team adjusted the brightness and contrast of the signage so that it would remain visible across different scenes. This ensured continuity and helped the audience track the bus as it moved through the city. Narratively, the signage also acts as a subtle anchor. Amid explosions, panic, and high-speed driving, it reminds viewers that this is still a public transit vehicle, something familiar turned dangerous. That contrast heightens the tension. The bus is not supposed to behave this way, and the clear signage reinforces that sense of disruption. For viewers, the detail might go unnoticed consciously, but it contributes to the overall believability of the film. It's a small element that helps maintain immersion, ensuring that the Runaway bus feels like part of a real-world system rather than a purely fictional construct. Number 14. The bus's windows were reinforced to prevent shattering during repeated takes. The large side windows on Annie's bus are a defining visual feature, but they also presented a practical challenge during filming. Standard bus windows are not designed to withstand the kind of stress seen in Speed. With high-speed driving, sudden stops, and vibrations could easily cause damage or breakage. To address this, the production team reinforced the windows to ensure they could survive repeated takes. This reinforcement involved using stronger materials or protective treatments that maintain the appearance of normal glass while increasing durability. The goal was to keep the windows intact without altering their visual characteristics. This was important for continuity, as broken or damaged windows would require resets and potentially disrupt filming schedules. The reinforced windows also allowed for safer filming conditions. Actors and crew inside the bus were protected from potential hazards, and the risk of debris entering the vehicle was reduced. This made it possible to perform more intense scenes without compromising safety. From a visual perspective, the windows still needed to behave like real glass. They had to reflect light, show movement, and allow clear visibility of both the interior and exterior. Achieving this balance required careful material selection and testing. For audiences, the windows appear completely normal, even as the bus undergoes extreme conditions. Behind the scenes, they are a critical component that helped make those scenes possible. Number 13. The bus's tires were closely monitored to maintain consistent performance across takes. The tires on Annie's bus in Speed played a crucial role in both safety and continuity. High-speed driving and repeated takes put significant wear on the tires, making them one of the most vulnerable components of the vehicle. To ensure consistent performance, the production team monitored the tires closely throughout filming. This involved regular inspections to check for wear, pressure levels, and overall condition. Tires were replaced when necessary to maintain reliability and prevent unexpected failures. This level of attention was essential for both safety and visual consistency. From a continuity standpoint, the appearance of the tires had to remain consistent across scenes. Differences in tread wear or surface condition could be noticeable, especially in close-up shots. The crew ensured that replacements matched the original tires as closely as possible. The tires also influenced how the bus handled during filming. proper traction was essential for maintaining control, especially during high-speed sequences. Any variation in tire performance could affect the bus's movement, in making it harder to achieve consistent results across takes. For viewers, the tires are just part of the vehicle. Behind the scenes, they were a critical factor in keeping the production running smoothly and safely. Number 12. The bus's rear section was sometimes used as a platform for external camera rigs. Capturing dynamic shots of a moving bus required creative solutions, and one of those solutions involved using the rear section of the vehicle as a mounting point for camera rigs. In Speed, certain shots were achieved by attaching equipment to the bus itself, allowing cameras to move with the vehicle. The rear section provided a stable and accessible area for mounting these rigs. It allowed the camera to capture angles that would be difficult to achieve from separate vehicles. This included shots looking forward along the side of the bus or capturing the road behind it. Mounting cameras directly to the bus created a sense of immersion. The audience experiences the movement from the vehicle's perspective, making the action feel more immediate. However, this approach also required careful planning. The added weight and equipment had to be secured properly to avoid affecting the bus's balance or safety. The rigs were designed to minimize vibration and maintain stable footage, even at high speeds. This required specialized equipment and coordination between the camera crew and the driver. For viewers, these shots feel natural and fluid. Behind the scenes, they are the result of innovative techniques that allowed the filmmakers to push the boundaries of what could be captured on a moving vehicle. At number 11. The bus's braking scenes were carefully staged to avoid actual sudden stops. Given the central premise of Speed, braking becomes a critical element of the story. However, filming real sudden stops with a bus full of actors would have been dangerous and impractical. To address this, the production staged braking scenes in a way that created the illusion of abrupt deceleration without actually performing it. This was achieved through a combination of techniques. The bus would slow down gradually, while camera angles, editing, and actor movement created the impression of a sudden stop. Actors were directed to react as if the bus had braked sharply, adding to the illusion. Sound design also played a role. The addition of braking noises, tire sounds, and other audio cues reinforced the perception of sudden deceleration. These elements combined to create a convincing effect without the risks associated with real abrupt stops. This approach allowed the filmmakers to maintain safety while still delivering intense scenes. It also ensured consistency across takes, as controlled deceleration is easier to repeat accurately than sudden stops. For viewers, the braking scenes feel dramatic and realistic. Behind the scenes, they are carefully constructed illusions designed to balance safety and storytelling. Number 10. The bus's handrails and poles were reinforced to support actor movement during intense scenes. Inside Annie's bus in Speed, passengers are constantly thrown off balance, grabbing onto poles and handrails as the vehicle speeds through traffic. These interior elements might look like standard transit fixtures, tech, but they were actually reinforced to handle far more stress than usual. In a real city bus, handrails are designed to support standing passengers during normal driving conditions, not the kind of violent movement seen in the film. During production, actors needed to lean, swing, and brace themselves repeatedly, often in coordinated action sequences. To make this possible, the handrails and vertical poles were strengthened internally, ensuring they could withstand the force without bending or breaking. This was essential for both safety and performance. If a rail failed mid-scene, it could injure an actor or disrupt filming. The reinforcement also allowed actors to commit fully to their movements, creating more convincing reactions to the bus's motion. From a visual standpoint, the rails still had to look authentic. They couldn't appear oversized or obviously modified, so the strengthening was done in a way that preserved their normal appearance. This balance between function and realism is a key part of the film's design. For viewers, the interior chaos feels believable because the actors interact naturally with their environment. Behind the scenes, that environment was carefully engineered to support those interactions safely. Number 9. The bus's destination display was used as a continuity anchor throughout the film. While the Runaway bus in Speed moves through multiple locations, one element remains consistent: the destination display. This signage acts as a visual anchor, helping the audience recognize the bus instantly, even when the surrounding environment changes. Maintaining this consistency required careful coordination. The display had to remain the same across all buses used in production, ensuring continuity between different shots and scenes. Even minor variations could disrupt the illusion that the audience is watching a single vehicle. The production team paid close attention to the font, brightness, and positioning of the display to keep it uniform. This detail also helps orient the viewer. Amid the fast-paced action, the familiar display provides a point of reference, grounding the scene. It reinforces the idea that this is a specific bus, part of a real system, rather than a generic prop. The display's visibility was carefully managed to ensure it remained readable without drawing too much attention. It needed to be present but not distracting. This balance helped maintain immersion while subtly supporting the narrative. For viewers, the destination display might seem like a minor detail. In reality, it plays an important role in maintaining visual continuity and reinforcing the film's realism. Number 8. The bus's exterior panels were designed to withstand repeated high-speed airflow stress. Driving a large vehicle at high speed creates significant airflow pressure, especially on flat surfaces like the sides of a bus. In Speed, the Runaway bus spends much of its time traveling faster than a typical city bus would. This meant the exterior panels had to handle sustained airflow stress without loosening or deforming. The production team ensured that these panels were securely fastened and reinforced where necessary. This prevented issues such as rattling, vibration, or detachment during filming. Now, maintaining the integrity of the exterior was important not only for safety, but also for visual consistency. Loose panels could create distracting movement or noise, affecting both the performance of the bus and the quality of the footage. The smooth, stable appearance of the bus helps reinforce the illusion that it is capable of sustained high-speed travel. From a practical standpoint, this required regular inspections and adjustments between takes. The crew monitored the condition of the panels to ensure they remained secure throughout production. For viewers, the bus appears solid and reliable, even under extreme conditions. Behind the scenes, that stability was the result of careful preparation and maintenance. Number 7. The bus's driver's seat area was modified to allow better camera angles on Annie. Like Sandra Bullock's character, Annie spends much of the film in the driver's seat, making it a focal point for both performance and storytelling. To capture her reactions effectively, the driver's area of the bus in Speed was modified to accommodate cameras. In a standard bus, the driver's space is compact, leaving little room for filming equipment. The production team adjusted this area by repositioning certain elements and creating additional space for camera placement. This allowed filmmakers to capture close-up shots, over-the-shoulder angles, and dynamic perspectives without compromising the authenticity of the setting. The modifications were designed to remain invisible on screen, ensuring that the driver's area still looked like a real bus cockpit. Lighting was also carefully integrated to highlight Annie's expressions without appearing artificial. These changes made it possible to focus on the character's emotions, which are central to the film's tension. For viewers, the scenes feel natural and immersive. Behind the scenes, they were the result of thoughtful adjustments that balanced technical needs with visual realism. Number 6. The bus's movement was sometimes simulated using towing rigs for safer shots. Not every scene in Speed involved the bus driving under its own power. For certain shots, especially those requiring precise camera work or actor interaction, the bus was towed using specialized rigs. This allowed the production to simulate movement while maintaining greater control over the environment. Towing rigs enabled smoother, more predictable motion, which was useful for scenes where stability was important. It also allowed actors to focus on their performances without the added complexity of real driving conditions. The towing setup could be adjusted to match the desired speed and movement, creating the illusion of the bus traveling at high speed. This technique was particularly valuable for close-up shots and interior scenes, where safety and consistency were priorities. From the audience's perspective, the difference is invisible. The bus appears to be moving naturally, even though its motion is controlled externally. This approach highlights the blend of practical effects and filmmaking techniques used to create the film's action sequences. Number 5. The bus's roof structure was reinforced to support stunt work and camera mounting. The roof of Annie's Runaway bus in Speed wasn't just a passive surface sitting above the action. It was quietly transformed into a functional platform, capable of supporting both stunt activity and filmmaking equipment. In a standard city bus, the roof is not designed to carry significant weight beyond environmental loads like wind or debris. But for this production, the roof had to handle far more demanding conditions. Certain scenes required actors or stunt performers to interact with the exterior of the bus, while others needed cameras mounted at elevated angles to capture movement from above. To make this possible, the structure beneath the roof panels was reinforced. This ensured that weight could be distributed safely without causing deformation or instability. The reinforcement had to remain invisible, preserving the bus's normal appearance while significantly increasing its load-bearing capability. From a filmmaking standpoint, this modification opened up new creative possibilities. Cameras placed on the roof could capture forward motion, surrounding traffic, and dynamic perspectives that enhanced the sense of speed. It also allowed for shots that made the bus feel more integrated into its environment, rather than being observed from a distance. Safety was a major consideration. Any external interaction with the bus required secure footing and stable support, especially during movement. The reinforced roof provided that foundation, enabling scenes that would otherwise have been too risky. For viewers, the roof is rarely the focus of attention, but behind the scenes, it played a crucial role in enabling some of the film's most dynamic visuals. It's a hidden modification that contributed significantly to the overall production. Number 4, the bus's paint finish was adjusted to minimize glare under intense lighting conditions. Filming a large vehicle under bright sunlight presents a unique challenge. Surfaces can reflect too much light, creating glare that interferes with camera exposure and obscures detail. For Annie's Bus in Speed, the production team had to carefully manage how the exterior finish interacted with light. The paint was adjusted to strike a balance between realism and visual clarity. A fully glossy finish might have looked authentic, but would produce strong reflections that could distract from the action or reveal unwanted elements like cameras and crew. On the other hand, a completely matte finish could reduce reflections but make the bus appear flat and less visually interesting. The solution was a controlled finish that maintained some reflectivity while minimizing harsh glare. This allowed the bus to retain its realistic appearance while ensuring that its details remained visible on camera. The adjustment also helped maintain consistency across different lighting conditions. Whether the bus was filmed in direct sunlight, partial shade, or varying times of day, the finish ensured that it looked cohesive. This level of control is essential for continuity, especially in a film where the same vehicle appears in multiple environments. For viewers, the bus looks natural and consistent throughout the film. Behind the scenes, that consistency was achieved through careful consideration of how light interacts with its surface. Number 3, the bus's rear-view mirrors were repositioned to avoid interfering with camera shots. Rear-view mirrors are essential for driving, but in a film like Speed, they can become obstacles for camera work. The large mirrors on Annie's bus had to be carefully managed to ensure they didn't block important angles or reflect unwanted elements. During production, the mirrors were repositioned or adjusted slightly to accommodate filming needs. This allowed cameras to capture clear shots of both the exterior and interior without obstruction. The reflective surfaces of the mirrors also had to be controlled. They could easily pick up reflections of crew members, equipment, or other elements that weren't meant to be visible. Balanced adjustments were made to minimize these reflections while maintaining the mirror's realistic appearance. This required coordination between the driver, camera operators, and production team. Despite these changes, the mirrors still needed to function effectively for driving. This balance between practicality and visual clarity is a common challenge in filmmaking. The solution ensured that the mirrors contributed to the realism of the bus without interfering with the production. For viewers, the mirrors appear normal and unobtrusive. Behind the scenes, they were carefully positioned elements that helped maintain clean, consistent visuals. Number 2, the bus's engine compartment was modified to allow easier access during filming. The engine compartment of Annie's Bus in Speed had to be more accessible than that of a standard vehicle. Thus, filming a high-intensity action movie requires frequent checks, adjustments, and maintenance, especially when the vehicle is being pushed beyond normal operating conditions. To accommodate this, the engine area was modified to allow quicker access for the crew. Panels could be opened or removed more easily, enabling technicians to inspect and service components between takes. This reduced downtime and helped keep the production running smoothly. The modifications were designed to remain hidden from the audience, preserving the bus's normal appearance. This accessibility also allowed for adjustments to be made on the fly. If a component needed fine-tuning or repair, the crew could address it without major delays. This flexibility was essential for maintaining the pace of filming, especially during sequences that required repeated takes. For viewers, the bus appears to operate continuously without interruption. Behind the scenes, that performance depended on efficient access to its mechanical systems. Number 1. The bus became a symbol of confined danger rather than open road freedom. Unlike many vehicle-focused films where movement represents freedom, Annie's bus in Speed represents the opposite. It is a moving trap, a confined space where danger is constant and inescapable. This shift in meaning is one of the most unique aspects of the film. The bus is not a tool for exploration. It is a constraint, forcing characters to remain in motion under strict conditions. The interior becomes a pressure chamber, where every decision has immediate consequences. This concept is reinforced through both visual and narrative elements. The camera often emphasizes the limited space, showing how crowded and restricted the environment is. The constant movement adds to the tension, as the characters cannot simply stop and reassess. They are forced to act while the situation continues to escalate. This creates a sense of urgency that defines the film. The bus becomes more than a setting. It becomes a central force shaping the story. For viewers, this transforms a familiar object into something threatening. It's a powerful example of how context can change the meaning of a vehicle, turning it into a symbol of danger rather than freedom. Annie's runaway bus wasn't just about speed. It was about pressure, control, and survival inside a moving cage. Every detail, hidden modification, and filming trick helped turn a normal city bus into pure tension on wheels. That's why it still holds up today, because it feels real, while relentless and dangerously close to possible.